It is Mailbag Day, ladies and gentlemen. And on today's topic, before we get into the mailbag, we have to talk about Matas Buzelis. Does Matas Buzelis have a real shot at the Rookie of the Year award? This is way, way early. I know it is, but I want to talk about it. You know we're going to talk about it, break it down, but you know you got to hear the music first.
Cognac. Gang.
Shot Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you tuned in with me today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. The continued support has been outstanding. Thank you, Bulls Nation. We're going to continue to bring that fire content and continue to rock out. But nonetheless, I want to talk about Matas Buzelis. I do understand that this is very, very early. We ain't even seen the man in the preseason. We haven't seen him. We don't know what the role is going to look like. We don't know how is it going to look like for Matas Buzelis in the Chicago Bulls uniform. What will he look like? What would his role be like? How is his production going to be? All those things are going to have to be considered when we talk about his chances at winning Rookie of the Year. Now, when we talking about Rookie of the Year, these last few people, just to give you guys an idea of what kind of like the criteria has been for the last few winners, we're going to break that stuff down. And we're going to also see if there's a way that we can navigate through this for Matas Buzelis, depending on his role. Now, if we're talking about Matas Buzelis, the role that's placed out for him is going to be very, very dependent and help with his chances for winning the Rookie of the Year. Now, if you guys, for my betting people out there, some of the early sportsbook, FanDuel specifically, has Matas Buzelis currently 4 when it comes to the best odds to win the NBA Rookie of the Year. They got a few guys that's before Matas Buzelis. Reed Shepherd is one of those guys. You got Alex Sardis in front of Matas Buzelis. And the guy that's been ducking Matas Buzelis, look, I'm just sticking up for my guy, Zachary Richardson. All those 3 guys are ahead of Matas Buzelis when it comes to who FanDuel believes will win the award. So now I want to talk about the role for Matas Buzelis. Now, if Matas Buzelis inserted in the starting lineup, I don't know how that's going to work. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm wondering if that's in the plans of the Chicago Bulls, and where will he pretty much fit? Is he going to play the 3? Is he going to play the 4? Let Pat Will play the 4 and he plays the 3. How is this all going to come together? I know it's going to be, a bit. It's going to be something that the Chicago Bulls absolutely have to work out. But as of right now, if Matas Buzelis is the starter, he's going to have to put up some decent numbers. Now, when we talk about those people that came in and they came in as those starters, these guys, the last few winners, had solid point totals and rebound totals and assists. Last year's winner, Victor Wembanyama, while playing 29 minutes per game, came out 21 points per game, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. The winner prior to that, and Paolo Banchero, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Then you're looking at Scotty Barnes, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. LaMelo Ball, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. So for Matas Buzelis, if he's placing that starting lineup, it's looking like he's going to have some really, really solid numbers, and it's going to have to be in that 15 on up type of range. I know we seen Malcolm Brogdon went in back in 2016 with just 10 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists, but I just think that it's too many talented guys right now that's being talked about for the potential to win Rookie of the Year. You're talking about Dalton Knecht, who's right under Matas Buzelis on FanDuel Sportsbook. Then you're talking about what Reed Shepherd was able to do in this summer league and the hype that's building around him and how good many people believe he's going to be. Then we're talking about Zachary Richardson. They didn't play him much, so we don't know what he's really going to look like in the NBA. And then Alex Sarr had a horrible summer league, but we understand that is just summer league. And once he plays real NBA games, all that summer league stuff can be washed out and things can really, really change for this young player. Now, when we talk about the eventual starters, I'm going through the entire list. I'm going through the entire list and looking at how many minutes per game did these players play. I'm looking at Malcolm Brogdon, who I've seen in the history probably with the lowest minutes per game at 26.4. It's kind of hard to find another player with minutes per game that low. The lowest I seen after that was probably like 28 minutes, and that came from other players. I do know that Mike Miller, who won it back in 2000, played 29 minutes per game. I'm not saying that the minute total is going to be the end all be all, because LaMelo played 28.8 minutes in his rookie of the year winning season. So I'm not saying the minutes played is going to be the end all be all for Montes Buzelis, but I'm going to see how can we, if the Bulls want Montes Buzelis to become that rookie of the year, and then, begin to elevate and rise up to, stardom or whatever it is, and live up to the ceiling that many of them, or the upside a lot of us believe that he has, you're gonna have to get this young character. You're gonna have to get this young guy some minutes. You know what I'm saying? With this current construction of the team, I don't necessarily know if their plan calls for 30 minutes per game. But if you saying we going at 26 minutes per game, and then that goes back to the whole role thing. Will Montes Buzelis be coming off the bench? Now we're talking about some of the bench guys last season. The person that logged in the most minutes off the bench was Norman Powell with 25.9 minutes per game for the LA Clippers. Okay, that's solid. I would say 25 minutes per game is solid. But if Montes Buzelis is coming off the bench and you're playing 25 minutes per game, he's gonna have to ball. He's gonna have to ball, because I don't know. I'm not necessarily looking at Reed Shepherd right now as being a starter down there in Houston off the top of my dome. He probably could. No, I don't really see it. So if you're talking about Alex Sarr, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be in that starter's role. If you're talking about Zachary Richardshire, he's going to be in the starter's role, maybe. And all these could absolutely change. Again, this is way, way, way early, but I just kind of want to break it down just so I can get an understanding of what it's going to have to look like. So if you're giving Montes Buzelis 25 minutes per game, he got to come out and hoop. Because if we just comparing him to Norman Powell, which we know he's not, at least right now at this stage of his career, Norman Powell off the bench gave the Clippers 13 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. Now, if you're saying that, hey, if you're looking at Malik Monk, who actually played 26 minutes per game off the bench, so excuse me on that last one, saying that Norman Powell played the most minutes. You can see that Malik Monk had a high minutes per game off the bench, and he gave the Kings 15, 2, and 5 assists, which is pretty good damn numbers. And Jaime Jaquez, 26.5 minutes off the bench, but 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2.6 assists. So Montes Buzelis, from what it appears to me, is that he's going to have to get about 26 to 28 minutes per game, whether that's starting or coming off the bench. And then the production is going to have to match up with what we believe is the rookie of the year stuff. So it's just way, way early. I think Montes Buzelis is going to have a shot to compete. He's going to have every opportunity in front of him, and we shall see what happens. I believe right now is way, way early to say if he's going to be able to get it. The belief is that he could potentially get it. You know what I'm saying? He has that upside. He has that mentality, that dog mentality that you want from your young player. But we just going to see. I just wanted to kind of map that all out. So just a quick recap. We're trying to see how many minutes, you know what I'm saying, Montes Buzelis got to make compared to those ones that played the minutes back then. I'm trying to see how the Bulls going to fit him up and make sure that his role is good enough to where he's not only logging the minutes, but he's also logging the production to match. I hope that was kind of like something that to where we can go ahead and pick through the weeds and see, just to kind of start drawing the idea or drawing conclusions on what it's going to take for Montes Buzelis to have a real shot at this award. Now, down below, let me know, what are the real chances for Montes Buzelis winning this award? And let me know what will be some obstacles for Montes Buzelis as well. What are his chances? Me right now, if we're going off, Bobby, if you say, Bobby, stand on business, give me a percentage of, give me a percentage on what you think will happen with Montes and this Rookie of the Year award. I would say it's a 20% chance. That's what I'm going to say. As of right now, I'm going to stick to 20%. If I once we start learning more regarding role, minute count, and how he's going to fit into this Chicago Bulls organization, then we could start raising a percentage on the strength of, or the belief of how we're going to look at Montes Buzelis with the chances of winning this award. But that's it for me from yapping. Now it's time to get into the quick 2 mailbags that we have on the docket today. This first one up is from Daryl.
Hey, yo, this is Daryl King, man, 53 years old, lifelong Bulls fan. I probably ain't missed a game in 35 years. But I'm calling in just to say that there's no team in the league that has more young talent than the Bulls. The Bulls actually have 9 people under 25 years old that has talent. Dalen, Montes, Kobe, Ayo, Giddy, Phillips, Patrick, Jalen Smith, Sanogo. There's no team in the league that has 9 players with this type of talent. Yes, there's teams in the league like Minnesota that got Anthony Edwards. They might have somebody better, but there's no team that has 9 players under 25 with this type of talent. Peace.
I love it, Daryl. Thank you so much for calling in, my brother. Appreciate you for supporting the show, and thank you for being such a great Bulls fan for that long after you'd have been through. You'd have seen the tippity top. I was very, very little when we were at the tippity top, and you'd have seen the lowest of the low. You didn't see Cristiano Felicio. You didn't see Denzel Valentine. You didn't see Dougie McBuckets. You didn't see Chandler Hutchison. My goodness. Should I continue? You didn't see Jeremy Grant. You didn't see all these. So big shout out to you. Now, when you talk about the quantity, the Bulls do have a lot of young, talented players that they really got to tap in to see how these guys can now fit for the organization for the future. But when we was having this discussion, I was like, what about the quality? Because though we have all this talent, we don't know about the quality of the players per se yet. Julian Phillips, still kind of unproven. Adama Sanogo, still kind of unproven. Dalen Terry, he's turning around, but he still got ways to go. So it's still levels to this. It's still steps to this. I'm not trying to crap on my people. I will leave it at this. When me and C-Dub had this discussion, we agreed on the top 4. That's Minnesota, OKC, the Magic, and it was one more it was one more team. And then we had that discussion with the top 5. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when we talk about the top 5, one team that we didn't mention on the video that my man's Hayes threw at us when we asked him offline was the San Antonio Spurs. What do you guys think about that? I know Daryl, you focus on the quantity, but what about the quality is my only question. So, but it was a good take anyway, and I'm right with you, man. And I ain't too mad at it, but I'm thinking about the quality versus the quantity. But when you go quantity, it's a solid argument for sure. But thank you, Daryl, for calling in. We're going to move into this last one, ladies and gentlemen. This next one is from my guy, Stand Up Rivera. Here it is.
I was just watching a video with Bobby and C-Dub. This is Stand Up, by the way, with Bobby and C-Dub, like, earlier. And I agree with both of your points. Like, I can't blame either one. Anything can happen. Like, C-Dub excited with the young players. He said that, we are top 5 in young talent. Under 25, I think it was under 25. Bobby said, hey, slow it down. We got to see some shit first. It don't matter about the athletic ability. You got to show me something. Look, Bobby said, Bobby's just like, you know what I'm saying? Bobby's like, you got to show me something first. Bevo, he just don't give a damn about feelings at all. Like, Bevo gonna tell he don't give a damn about someone's feelings. You know what I'm saying? He's just gonna say it. Big Kev, you know what I'm saying? He's the anger management dude, like in the back and trying to, level things out. Like, hey, that's not what, but like, hey, what I'm trying to say is when I watch a podcast, that's the best 4 personalities that I've seen in forever. For real, like, it's just something like, shit, that's better than that 90210 shit, with other Super Bowl on motherfuckers watching MASH and shit. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I'm watching the damn shot. Hey, you got any Easter? You got any plans today, man? I'm saying, damn, all that shit. I don't need to hunt eggs and shit. I'm watching this damn Shy Bulls podcast. This is where y'all should be watching it. Why you bullshitting? Well, no, for real, man. Y'all keep going, like, because ain't no limits with y'all. Like, y'all the best thing. Like, for real, best thing on TV. Damn the view. Like, Nah, man, I got much love for everything y'all do, man. Y'all the best, man. And keep going, keep thriving, because we watching. Peace.
All right, so we heard from Stand Up Rivera, one of the best supporters to have, one of the best family members to have on your podcast or your platform. And it's crazy, we never seen this guy in person, but we feel like we learned so much about each other, and that's what we want to do over here on this platform. Y'all already know that when it comes to me, C-Dub, Steve-O, Hayes, Big Kev, when we building out our network of Chi-Town Sports Central, the thing is, what we're going to do is keep it real. You know what I'm saying? If a player's not playing well enough that night, we'll let them know. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to attack people personally. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're Javon Carter. You know what I'm saying? And it's still not even that personal to keep it a buck with you for somebody that had to come to me and defend this play from last season just because he's from Chicago. Guess what? If you're from Chicago, you're held to a higher standard on Shy Bulls podcast. If you're from Chicago and you play for the Chicago Bulls, you get held to a higher standard. That's a fact. Watch how we look at Montes Buzelis and how he performs in the Chicago Bulls uniform. Why? Because we believe in these players. That's why we hold them to such high regard. It ain't just a crap on them. We were very, very excited about Lonzo Ball coming here. My personal opinion, he didn't live up to the bill. I was very, very excited for getting Javon Carter because I thought that he was going to add another dimension to the Chicago Bulls. He disappointed. So we going to hold his ass accountable because he's one of our own. We believe that he's better than what he showed us, and that's why we called him Catfish. C-Dub deemed him the name Catfish, and we going to ride with it until he show us something else. We not praying on his downfall, but damn, show us something. Show us why we brought you over here to represent your home squad. Show good, and that's what it really comes down to. You know what I'm saying? If people taking it personal when we critiquing basketball, we never said anything about Javon Carter's mama, his wife, his kids. If he have those, we don't care about that shit. We care about the basketball activity. So if the basketball activity on the court is not good, we're not gonna be on your side, whether you're from Chicago or not. I'm not coming up here just to please said players. You know what I'm saying? I have my favorites, of course, but at the same time, I'm still going to hold them accountable. Hell, I ain't watched much Michael Jordan, but I'm going to hold his ass accountable too. You know what I'm saying? By going back and looking at some of those highlight games and some of those moments, we going to go back, watch that stuff. And then when it comes down to the stuff that he's been doing outside of NBA basketball, and that still has something to do with NBA basketball and some of his moves that he's done in the basketball, if I don't like it, I'm going to let him know. I don't give a damn how great you are. I'm going to let you know. That's a fact. And that's me. And the last point is, if you got homies or gals or whatever in your circle and they yes men and yes women, you need to cut them off. Cut them off. We care about what's on the front of the jersey. That's the Chicago Bulls name, the city and name. Chicago is number one in my heart. Then the Bulls, and you got the Bears right there, and then everything else falls in line after that when we talk about the sports world. And I say, if y'all want us to sugarcoat, if you don't want us to keep it real, this is not the platform for you. We gonna keep it real on here. We gonna have some fun. Like Stand Up said, forget going on the Easter egg hunt. Not Easter as the day. Go celebrate, do what you got to do, you know, and do what you got to do. But we ain't going to the egg hunt after we celebrate, praise the Lord. We going to chill with the Cognac boys. We going to take the kids out to Halloween, trick or treat. But after they take trick or treating, if it's a Bulls basketball game on, you're going to come kick it with the Cognac boys on Thanksgiving. Before we get the food and all the stuff going that evening, you're going to have a good top of the morning Thanksgiving special from the Cognac boys. The point is, ain't no other place to be, baby. Ain't no other place to be. Ain't no better place to be than to be chilling right here with some of the realest people you can ever meet, who going to keep it real with you, who going to go back and forth amongst ourselves, but still shake hands and show love to you all, show love amongst ourselves. As long as you don't come in the chat being disrespectful, talking crazy, and taking shots and personal shots at us, we good. We ain't got no rebuttal. We gonna kick it. Now, if you say a crazy take, I ain't gonna agree with it just because you're in the chat. But don't be disrespectful. Drop your take. I don't got to agree with it. But if you get disrespectful, then I got something to say in it, because at the end of the day, we're all men and women. We love this team. We want to see what's best for this team. There's no reason to be taking personal shots at people solely based off their opinion, unless it's somebody defended Javon Carter for his play last season. You crazy. But that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Mailbag episode today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel before you get up out of here. If you want to be a part of an episode like this one that you heard today, the number to call in and leave your take is 773-242-9219. Thank y'all so much, Bulls Nation. Of course, y'all should always see red. And of course, like I always say, I'm going to catch y'all on the next for sure.
Cognac. Gang.